Welcome to episode 96 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And our apologies, we are recording a day late this week because there's a scheduling snafu.
Because we had a premonition, Chris, that
we just,
something was about to happen today.
Something in the back of our brains was just tickling the future, telling us that some big news is about to happen.
I said, wait, something big is about to happen.
Something will come. Well, the reality is we were supposed to record Venom last night, and then we had to cancel at the last minute. So don't worry, guys. I know you're all desperate to hear how much we all loved Venom, and we will be doing that. But the convenient thing is because we did get delayed, there was a lot of really big stuff to talk about. But we're not going to talk about it immediately because I actually had a shitload of news items already to discuss before other things happened.
Yes.
So we're going to start even further back in the past.
Let's see how much I missed on the internet this week.
All right, let's see how much you missed. I know one thing you did not miss, because this is a little bit old. I think this might have dropped even right after we recorded the last episode, but the Spider-Verse trailer, plus there's like a sneak peek as part of Venom. I continue to get more and more excited about this movie.
I mean, yes, I'm so excited for this film. The trailer looks amazing. I don't know if I'm like upset knowing the Spider-Men that are going to be in there, like hearing John Mulaney.
Oh, like would you
Spider-Ham.
have rather that been a surprise?
Yes, because I mean, I feel like the fans were pretty torn when we saw Spider-Gwen at the end of the first trailer.
Yeah.
And they just like, instead of, listening to the fans and be like, oh, maybe we should hold back some stuff. It's like, fuck it, we're going all in. You're going to see everyone.
Throw them all in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I agree. I think it would have been fun to have all these things be a surprise, but I think what's going to carry the movie is that it's just going to be very fun.
Yes, it looks amazing.
It looks gorgeous. It looks really funny. I mean, God, John Mulaney as Spider-Ham. It's
so good.
It's just brilliant.
So after the first trailer, I remember you saying that Jake Johnson, that you couldn't like differentiate the person from Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that way after this trailer?
I think I'm maybe just more used to it now. And
okay.
I think they're also going for a very different version of Peter in this. He's got this he's very Jake Johnson. I mean, at the end of the day,
he's the 30-something who's done it all already.
Yeah, he's kind of not schlubby, but I don't know, he's got this weird sort of like, attitude to him, which I don't know. I think it'll work.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'll be a good personality mesh with Miles Morales.
Because I like for Miles, I like the where I think the story is going to start is he's already been bitten.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get any of the pre-Miles Morales stuff, but he doesn't have control over it yet.
Yeah,
I feel
that
like
makes sense.
That's a nice entry point.
Yeah, like I feel like he'll probably already have his powers, and the inciting incident of the whole thing will be this explosion that brings people in from other dimensions.
Yeah,
it looks really fun.
It looks so good. I'm so excited to have
it. It looks gorgeous. It looks very self-aware.
I don't want to say I'm excited to have a good Spider-Man film because I don't want to share my opinion on Venom yet.
That's true. We should hold back. I mean, I think it could be good. I was always very skeptical about this, but I mean, to be fair, it is Lord and Miller. In Lord and Miller we trust.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be great.
I have the utmost confidence. I mean, right now it's a very tough call for what my favorite superhero film is for this year, and I feel like this is just gonna make it even harder.
I think so. Yeah, and I think it's gonna be a big departure, which I think will be fun.
Which is great because we already had like a completely different film with Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is just going to be like not the other end of the spectrum, but like branching off into a whole new realm.
Just take us along for a ride.
Yeah.
Just thwip us through the forest.
Yes.
Thwip. Yeah. No, that looks really, really good. I am very, very much excited for that. I was curious if you saw this little bit of news.
Probably not.
They're going to make a feature film based off of your favorite property, Dance Dance Revolution.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
Oh my God! Yes, 100% yes. Where do I fund this?
Dance Dance Revolution movie in the works. A Variety article here that I saved specifically for this purpose.
Oh my god! Why didn't you send this to me?
Because I wanted to save it for the podcast.
Wanted that natural reaction
to get your live on-air reaction. Now, the crazy thing is
that I'm not in it.
That one, but also, okay, what do you imagine the story of a Dance Dance Revolution movie would be?
I couldn't even imagine one.
In your hopes and dreams,
in my hopes
in
and
your heart of
dream,
heart, in your cheerful animated world.
It's the exact same plot and characters from the 1994 Street Fighter film, but instead of fighting, they pull out one person, like the good villain.
Yeah.
So Zangief will have a metal mat, and then Ryu will be coming along with his really shitty like paper mat that everyone hates because it moves around the floor, and he'll like have to overcome that problem. And instead of fighting, they just dance off.
And it'll star the corpse of Raul Julia.
But also Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And of course, JCVD.
Mm-hmm.
No. So
how close am I?
So far off. Here's a quote from the article. The project will explore worlds on the brink of destruction where the only hope is to unite through the universal language of dance.
I'm so down for this. There's a great YouTube video. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Probably not.
It's called A Coincidence.
What?
And it's
well, now I have to. There's a pun in there.
Absolutely amazing. It's these two guys. It's a dumb like 5-minute story about these two guys who never feel fulfilled in life, and so they go on a trip to discover themselves, and they run into each other, and they have the same like signature dance move, and so then it's the coincidence, and so then they go around solving the world's problems by doing their dance move.
I'm writing this down.
It's so good.
I will include it in the plugs.
Please do, because I love that. I watched it like 2 years ago, and I couldn't remember for the life of me what it was called.
How could you forget that title?
I don't know. I had the beat in my head, and I couldn't remember any words from it.
God damn it.
And so I finally found it again months ago, and I maybe watch it like every other week.
The coincidence.
It was a coincidence.
Oh, I mean, like, I feel like that title came first, and they came up with
for
it.
Sure.
And that just makes me that much happier. I love anything that starts with a title, except for Battleship. All right.
So a Dance Dance Revolution movie.
A Dance Dance Revolution movie.
I mean, when I say that, what pops in my head is like a short from the Lego Movie. Like I imagined that aesthetic for this.
I think it's gonna be live action though.
Good, even better.
Which is going to be. I mean, there's gonna be so many YouTube stars in that movie. I cannot wait.
I mean, it can't be any worse than the Emoji Movie, right? Because this is a DDR movie is so. So the thing is, I have so many thoughts right now. Because my first thought is like, why? Because American film, why DDR not Guitar Hero? Because Guitar Hero obviously took off a lot bigger in America.
Well, Asian markets.
Yeah, for sure. But with Guitar Hero, they had a story. It was a really shitty story, but there was a story where you were.
There's a story in Guitar Hero?
Yeah. In 3, you were basically. I mean, all of them pretty much have the same plot. You start as like this indie band, and the better you get, you're selling out bigger and bigger theaters.
Meteoric Rise?
Yes.
Okay.
And then some of them get a little weirder. So like, I think Guitar Hero 5 is God of Rock, if I remember correctly.
I don't even know.
That one is your like, the world is being destroyed and your music is saving it.
So the plot of
kind of
like Bill and Ted too,
Yeah.
in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I don't know. It's one of those things where kind of like the Emoji Movie here, it exists. Like there's no way that'll ever get made, and sure enough, it'll eventually be in our theaters and destroying our souls before too long.
If anything about this movie, I'm just really excited for the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be right in your
they
wheelhouse.
have to include Butterfly because that's everyone's first song in America.
Obviously.
Yeah. I hope that's the opening song.
Or they save it to the end though.
I don't know if they. I mean that's like a crowd. Like that's what brings people.
Like
in.
what's the show?
trailer.
What's the show-stopping song they're gonna say for the end there?
Max 300 is like the final song for a lot of people.
Clue. That's what it's gotta be. That's the song that's finally gonna unite everyone in their love of dance.
Yeah.
And save the world.
But I mean, Max 300 has been passed since. I mean, that was the song in like 2008.
Oh man,
I also want to know when this movie takes place because I feel like it should be like a early 2000s
in
kind
the
of film.
dystopian future of 2007.
Yeah, I do want to. So I forgot to bring this up a few weeks ago when I talked about Maniac. I'm gonna do a quick half second on this because there was one aesthetic about the show which I thought was so fascinating, and it was basically technology. The look of technology was kind of like 5 years from now, but if Apple never existed.
Oh, interesting.
So the tech looked really cool because it was all based off of like Microsoft IBM 1980s products.
Oh.
So everything was still like that blocky feel. The UI was still very like you can see it was very based off of like Windows 95.
Yeah.
And it just looked so cool to kind of see that idea of the future. It's like, because I mean, like everything now that's futuristic is based off of the Apple kind of minimalism.
Yeah, it's all the touchscreen. Mm-hmm. All the natural movement.
Yeah,
natural scroll.
So that was like, if you want to watch Maniac,
I don't.
Yeah. for the listeners, if you guys want to watch Maniac, like that's something to look forward to.
Right.
The rest of the show is just okay.
Yeah. So I have heard. All right, I have another one.
Oh man, how can you top DDR?
Another one to throw at you. I don't know if it's topping it, but it's definitely in your wheelhouse of interest. Disney has announced one of their upcoming live-action adaptations.
Is it also Pokemon?
No, it's Lilo and Stitch.
I did hear about this.
How do you feel about this?
Very torn.
Same.
Because, so part of there's a whole section of Lilo and Stitch that was cut out from both the script, and there was a scene that was cut.
Right. It was in the end when they're flying around in the spaceship. It was supposed to fly through the middle of Honolulu between the buildings, right?
Well, that scene, but also a whole another section of the movie.
What was the other section of the movie?
Talking about Hawaiian tourism, and I finally learned why Lilo takes pictures all the time.
Oh, okay.
And it's she's doing it to show the tourists what they're doing to her. So she's only taking photos of tourists. And I never caught that until like last week someone pointed this out.
That's interesting.
She's treating them, because they treat, when people go to Hawaii, they treat locals and everything Hawaiian like it's a tourist thing.
It's a novelty.
Exactly. Like it's part of the show.
Yeah.
And so Lilo going around taking pictures of tourists is showing them, what they're doing to her and her people.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's so cool. I never picked up on that.
Oh, I could definitely see that being a plot thread that they might incorporate in a
it's-
newer version.
I would love a subplot either with Nani or Lilo or David. That's his name.
What's the boyfriend's name?
David.
I'm just looking forward to that live action casting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would love a subplot of them working, like working as traditional, Hawaiian hula dancers or,
Yeah.
dealing with that side of Hawaiian culture where like, you're giving up your kind of cultural heritage for money.
Yeah. No, I think that could be that's a good point actually. Like I hadn't thought about the fact that they could add some much more contemporary commentary in there, which could make it
Because they were like, there was a full scene that was animated, it was storyboarded out. Mm-hmm. We had an animatic of it. It's the midpoint between storyboard and full animation of Lilo like messing with the tourists as well. Like I don't remember what was going on, but she called 911 on them for doing something.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was good.
No, I mean because we both love that movie.
So much.
I don't.
And the TV series. And the two.
Oh,
and the
right.
two sequels.
Yeah, and the TV series. I think there's
3 sequels.
I mean, I don't know. I think that of the live action adaptations that I've seen, I feel like they've all been decent. I don't think any of them have been bad. I think in places they've added kind of some modern perspectives. So I don't know. It could be good.
Because I'm going to see it no matter what. This is the first one that kind of strays from realism, which I think will be interesting. Because Cinderella...
Oh, I mean, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a human creature. He's still based off of a human, or based off of an animal.
Do you feel like they're going to go even more alien?
That's what I'm concerned about. Because, I mean, he is supposed to be a dog.
Yeah.
So that's the other kind of thing. Like, because he can kind of transform his body a little bit. He does have the 4 arms that he uses, that he can, like contract into his body. I don't know if the humor. I mean, I hope the humor will still be there.
I think so. I think tonally they'll try and make it consistent. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like they've only just announced that it's happening. I don't think they announced a director with it.
I don't think so.
I feel like
Taika Waititi, please.
Oh my, yes, yes, actually, 100% on board.
If he
yes.
could also voice Stitch.
Yes, all these things. Disney, we've done your job for you.
Yep.
No, like, I think Aladdin will be the point where we can see where things go going forward. I mean, also we have Dumbo coming up, which looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but again, that's still based in realism. Like I assume,
it's mostly
Timothy. What's his name? The mouse, Timothy something. Okay.
Burton?
No, not Timothy Burton. Not his child.
I was like, who calls him Timothy Burton?
No, the mouse that
I don't know. I've never seen
Dumbo's
Dumbo.
friend. Wow, that's so sad.
I am sad. I'm a sad.
I guess like
human.
the elephants on parade scene will be a good like how weird can Disney go?
Yeah, I mean, we're also getting like the live action Lady and the Tramp. I mean, I think a lot of this. I feel like this whole idea is pretty masturbatory on Disney's part.
Yeah,
but it's doing well for them, and I think the movies have been good enough. I think what the reason they've been successful is I think morbid curiosity gets butts in the chairs, and then fairly good quality makes them successful.
Did we talk? Did I bring up the article last week about there was an op-ed in the Times about Disney running out of ideas?
I think you mentioned that.
Okay,
and you thought it was complete bullshit.
It is.
Yeah,
and I mean this doesn't sell my point well.
No.
When they announced Lady and the Tramp and the Don't Stitch, like the day after that article came out.
I know it's not a good sign, but I think they're still delivering quality though, which makes it okay.
Yeah.
Like Mary Poppins, I'm super excited for. I have high hopes for Jungle Cruise. Even just the people involved, I think it could be good. I don't know. Every day is Christmas Eve. We must hope for the best. Okay, I still have more. I still have fucking more news.
I'm already exhausted.
Okay. The Mandalorian.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Star Wars show. So we finally figured out what Jon Favreau's live action Star Wars show is going to be about. It's going to be about a Mandalorian gunslinger. It's like first image is released, typical Mandalorian looking armor, but it definitely.
San Holo.
God damn it.
The unique character.
Yeah. Well, actually, his name's just San. Someone's going to tell him he's just hanging out.
Yeah.
What did you say? Holo?
San Holo.
Holo. That's how he says hello to people. They
Yes.
just dub him that name.
It's season 2.
Season 2. I mean, like, there's some
We
really...
have to get the whole backstory where he's just San for a while.
So all season 1, he's just San. And then he just sings solo. Oh, wait.
No.
Went the wrong way.
Shut up. That's the season 1 cliffhanger. Is what's your name? San
cut to black.
Holo. Is it Captain Picard?
What?
What did you say?
Cut to black.
Oh.
But yes, that'd be even...
Captain
That'd be...
Picard.
No. I would love it if that's like the real twist, if that the new Picard show is actually the Mandalorian, and it's finally the two universes cross over. And it's a really old Picard going around shooting people. At the end of season 1, he takes off the helmet. We see it's Picard.
Calling himself Han Solo?
Yeah, and he just says, "Make it so."
Make it so, Chewie.
Cut to black. But like we get some really good talent behind this. So Dave Filoni, who does Rebels and he did Clone Wars, he's really involved in the animated side of things. He's directing, I believe, the pilot. Taika Waititi's doing an episode. Bryce Dallas Howard's doing an episode.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know. I think I have high hopes for this. And also, I in general like Jon Favreau. I thought Chef was terrible.
All right, water in my mouth. You didn't like Chef?
No.
Wow. Wait, hold on.
There's no conflict. It's like the whole...
But it's just food porn.
Well, yeah, that's...
Wait, hold on. Chef is the one with Jon Favreau, not the one with Bradley Cooper.
Yes.
What's the one with Bradley Cooper?
I don't fucking remember.
Okay, I don't like that one.
Yeah. No, like... okay. The whole problem with Chef is it's just a really obvious allegory for his frustrations working in the studio system for a bit, right? Because, like, he goes and makes Iron Man 1. They're kind of like a rogue operation. It's hugely successful. He goes and make Iron Man 2. They try and capture lightning in a bottle twice. It doesn't go well. I think there's a little bit of friction there, and he more or less steps away, and he goes and makes Chef, which is about a chef who's like the best chef in the world who gets kicked out of his restaurant for being too good at what he does. And then so he decides he's just going to sell his own food in a food truck and publish it on Twitter. And then no conflict happens throughout the whole rest of the movie. Scarlett Johansson's just randomly sleeping with him to sleep with him. He wins back Vera Farmiga. Like, once the truck is successful, no conflict ever happens again the whole rest of the movie. And it's just him, like, doing better and better and better. And it's like, this is so obnoxious.
But it looks so good.
It looks good, and, like, there's good people involved, but it was just the most obvious, like, look at me, I'm right and the system's wrong, and that's fine because everything will work out great for me.
Okay. Well, I couldn't look past just the beautiful food shots, so
But
I didn't get any of that subtext.
I mean, it probably didn't help that I had just finished a full day of PA work. I went to go see it, and I hadn't eaten in hours.
I was gonna say I also watched it on an empty stomach, and that made me so.
But to be fair, I did have an amazing burger afterwards.
That's good.
Good old Heels Burger always delivers.
There you go.
A little far for us to go for Burger Fan Club, but someday. But no, I'm excited for that show. Like, we both know we're gonna buy the Disney streaming service at this point.
I feel like I've already given them my soul.
That's
Not
they
enough
already
payment.
own you.
They do already own
Yeah,
me.
but they're still gonna make you pay for it.
Yeah,
Which
they
is
do
amazing.
that.
Okay, I still have more. I
Even
still have
more.
This is a little note, but the cast of Birds of Prey got rounded out. Rosie Perez got cast as Montoya.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've actually seen a lot of stuff with her in it.
I didn't recognize her.
I know the name. I forget what other stuff she's done, to be perfectly honest. But she's a little bit older than I think most people are expecting. But, I think they've
That's
done a
fine.
pretty good job across the board. And I think you do need to have kind of a more veteran character in there, especially with everyone else being a little bit on the younger side.
Yeah.
So I'm on board. I think it'll be good. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, now we're caught up today.
Oh, good. Good.
We're
Good.
finally
Good.
caught up today. Okay, we'll tackle Batwoman first.
Okay.
So we got our first look at Ruby Rose as Batwoman from the Arrowverse crossover.
Looks great.
Looks fucking incredible.
Yeah, I'm so down.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on board with her since she was cast. This just further proves it.
We also had, I mean, I know both of us have kind of come and gone from the show, but we got the trailer for. Oh, we got 2 trailers this weekend. You skipped one.
I did.
We got the Harley Quinn trailer from New York Comic Con.
Oh, god damn it. I forgot about that entirely.
Looks fine. I mean, it's not. It's a teaser. It's very meant for the people at New York Comic Con.
Oh, that's right, because I posted this on Facebook.
And you seem to not like it. You thought it was too tongue in cheek.
Yeah, my comment was, is this trying way too hard to be self-aware?
I mean, just because of where it was shown, I think so. I feel like when we get the normal trailer, it'll be different.
I hope so. Like, I mean, I found it fine. I guess we'll get used to Kaylee Cuoco as Harley.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was trying really, really hard. But it could. I'm still hopeful for it. I think it's.
I mean, it for me, like I said, it just looks like a convention trailer.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's for the nerds who already know all the inside jokes, already know everything about the show.
And it's also a long ways out. It's not until I want to say end of next year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I guess there's a lot of room for things to change a little bit as we go.
Yeah, so we had that trailer, and then we had the Arrow season 7. I think they're on now, season 6 or 7 trailer.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch it.
I'm actually kind of down for this season.
Well, because I know it's an adaptation of Supermax, where he's been unveiled as the Green Arrow and he's in prison trying to get out.
Yeah. I might give it another chance because the trailer makes it look really enticing.
So, like, the first 2 episodes of him getting out of prison, then it'll just slip right back into... Yep. Like,
Except now there's all these new characters that I don't know
That's
anymore.
the thing. There's all these things that have going on. I've been like loosely following it. Like, I probably won't watch it. I will end up watching the crossover event.
Yeah, because they're all so good.
Those are good. Also, I just want to see them do Batwoman, and then I think it's more of a when than an if. But when that show finally comes on air, I'll definitely be watching that because I really like that comic.
Yeah.
I just really like that character too. I think she's so interesting. And
I never got Vixen. That kind of makes me sad now. I just forgot about that.
Well, we had the animated version of Vixen, and we got Vixen's like grandmother, I want to say, in Legends of Tomorrow.
Well, I mean, the Vixen animated, it was a mini series.
Yeah, and I think
thought it
that
was supposed to
character
be
still
full.
appeared like in an episode or 2, though. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you mean. They never actually get a full spin out.
Yeah,
Kinda
because
like,
I just wanted more animated DC stuff because it was done by the Young Justice people.
Oh, that's
Their
right.
animation
Yeah,
staff.
and I think they did one for Constantine too, which I think just got released, collected on DVD, and it was Matt Ryan. I want to say right was the actor who played it on the TV show.
I think so.
He was always good. I never really watched the show. I watched the pilot. It was kind of meh.
Same.
Good casting.
And we wonder why it got got shut down so fast.
I know, but I mean, they've still utilized him, which has been great. I think he's like a full regular now in Legends of Tomorrow, which is cool.
Awesome.
And I keep hearing Legends just keeps getting better and better. But CW, you make it so goddamn hard for me to watch your stuff.
Well, I mean, that's all on Netflix now.
Yeah, but I'd rather watch it when it airs so that I'm not like way behind on it.
Yeah.
And I refuse to watch stuff on the CW app because then you have to spend about an extra 20 minutes per episode watching the same goddamn trailers.
It's almost like watching it live.
Oh, but it's just the same. Like, I would rather watch it live and like get some variety in my commercials versus just watching the same. Like, literally, they'll put the same trailer for Supergirl back to back on the same commercial break. I can't do it. I just can't do it, Cameron.
The Disney app does the same thing right now. And it's very
does
frustrating.
it? I haven't watched Star Wars Resistance yet.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet either.
Is Resistance? Yeah, it's the same deal.
I spent my weekend catching up on the Halloween decoms.
Of course you did.
And I forgot they have commercials.
Oh God, you poor bastard.
Oh, it hurts. Because those, I mean, it doesn't. It's fine. Because it's...
You still do it anyways. Nothing was going to stop you.
Right. I mean, I got to watch my Twitches.
Oh, God damn it. I don't even want to know what that is.
It's actually like it's an interesting idea. I mean, not really. It's Harry Potter, but Disney. Twitches
I didn't think it was an inappropriate thing when you said Twitches. I assumed it was an asinine, childish thing, and that's why I didn't want to know about it.
Twin witches. See, it's
of course it is.
Yeah, so it's Tia and Tamara Mallory.
Of course they are.
Are the princesses of a magic kingdom.
It's what, 15 years old, 20 years old?
No, because they play 20-somethings.
Okay.
The movie starts on their 21st birthday. Fuck. I want to say the first one came out...
Why did I engage on this?
2009, and the second one came out like 2012. There's two of them, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Of course there are.
And also Phantom of the Megaplex, which is like... in my opinion, one of the definitive best decoms ever. Because it's Phantom of the Opera.
I get it.
But it takes place at a movie theater.
I get it, Cameron.
It's so good. It even has, what's his face? Who's like a famous person.
Gerard Butler.
No. Mickey Rooney is in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well.
I don't want to say it killed him, but I think he died like a year after it came out.
Is he dead?
I'm pretty sure Mickey Rooney's dead.
I mean, he was in Night at the Museum, at least the first one, I want to say.
I'm almost certain that Mickey Rooney's dead. I hope I'm wrong.
All I know is that arguably the best movie Mickey Rooney's in is in Breakfast at Tiffany's, and he is the single worst thing about that. That movie is incredible, except for that horrible, horrible part. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go look it up and be
died in
just
2014.
aghast at it. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit longer. But anywho,
sorry,
we still have a whole other topic to go here, and I feel like we're gonna have to chat about this one a bit. So, I honestly don't remember how much we talked about James Gunn's firing when it happened. I feel like we
scratched.
I feel like we more or less kind of didn't talk about it much because
we didn't want to get into the politics of it.
Because it is very, very complicated, but I think everyone pretty much understands it. For a quick recap, basically, 10 years ago, James Gunn posted a whole bunch of like really tasteless jokes on Twitter having to do with like rape and pedophilia. And I think he has subsequently acknowledged that those exist and apologized for it, but they basically disappeared. And then the guy who created the Pizzagate Hillary Clinton scandal, so basically a politically right-leaning troll, dug this stuff up and republicized it, and in a knee-jerk reaction, Disney fired James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They have stuck to their guns, no pun intended there, and have refused to hire him back despite everybody in the film industry basically going, this is bullshit. I think...
You know what they should do? Is they should have his brother direct it.
Sean Gunn?
Sean Gunn direct it, and just have James in his trailer.
Just over the walkie?
Yeah, just directing it from afar.
Oh my God, I mean, that would make Sean Gunn the writer, director, and double actor in that movie. I mean, the man can do anything.
Well, I mean, it sounds like the whole cast is about to leave, so he's going to play everything.
That's true.
One-man show. I'm so down for a one-man Guardians of the Galaxy.
It'll just be Dave Bautista by himself. Look, I mean, I don't think he should have been fired. I think it's very hypocritical of Disney to be so aggressively critical of someone's past, given Robert Downey Jr., for example, given Tim Allen as another example, both who've been arrested, both who have like bad shit in their past. Disney itself, both the person and the company, have a lot of bad shit in their past.
I don't think so.
I'm looking at you, Song of the South. or any sort of gender or race politics from the vast majority of their movies.
The characters erased from Fantasia.
Yeah, what?
Any DVD that you get of Fantasia now, and any streaming version you get, they used to have during the unicorn section.
Oh,
They used to have what half man half goats are called.
I don't remember.
Blanks.
Yes,
Those things.
yeah.
They had them in blackface.
The same thing that
Satyrs?
Phil is
Yeah.
in Hercules.
Yeah, satyr.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's right. In full on blackface. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that company has.
And they literally erased it from the movie.
Yeah, I
They
believe it.
digitally erased them.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get too much into the politics of it, but there is the rumor that this was to make the far right complacent about the Roseanne firing.
Oh, yeah, there's some. Yeah, but they're very, very different situations.
I know, but I mean, people don't see it that way.
No,
they say you took one of ours, we're going to take one of yours.
Yeah, it's the equivalent. People see it's the equivalent, even though it's drastically different.
Yeah.
Roseanne is an active monster.
We don't need to get into that.
We don't need to do it. But anyways, so Guardians is
The biggest fuck you James can do.
Yeah, up in the air. And so what does he do? He is now in talks to write, possibly direct Suicide Squad 2.
So nothing is confirmed yet.
No.
I want to make that clear because
in the
a lot.
talks.
I'm getting a few messages today about like James Gunn's over at DC. It's still very rumored.
Yeah, I mean it's.
We also got an announcement that The Rock was going to play Black Adam 4 years ago.
4 years ago. I mean, this seems pretty likely. I think Warner Brothers is desperate to get people excited about their movies.
Yeah.
Which I think. I mean, we didn't talk about the Aquaman trailer even.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's fine.
Looks fine.
The more I see that movie, the less excited I get for it.
Same actually. Yeah, I'm not really buying his whole like dumb surfer bro thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I should have just peed on it. Like,
Yeah.
And I love Jason Momoa.
Me too.
I'm just. Anywho, like, I mean, I guess this is good news, right?
It's moving in the right direction.
Yeah. It does seem like a big ol' fuck you.
It's the biggest fuck you. This is on par, not on par, almost on par with the guys who created Image.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
Quitting Marvel, going and taking a meeting at DC to tell them that you can't hire us.
Yeah.
There was one more quick sidestep. There was an amazing video I saw the other day from the early 90s, Rob Liefeld and Stan Lee drawing a character together.
Oh,
and it was like a
Jesus
time
Christ.
they had like 5 minutes to create a character.
Oh my
And
god.
so Stanley, did his thing where he came up with the name and the powers, and then Liefeld had to draw it.
And it had so many pouches.
Oh, Stanley was furious with the end result, and you could tell he was mocking him the whole way through.
Oh, good
And
old Rob
it was
Liefeld.
so funny because like we see Stanley now, and he's this like super nice old man. You can't do anything wrong, but seeing him in the business where he's just like, what are you doing? Like, this isn't like he can't move. And the best is like they're being timed, and Rob Liefeld does his thing where he draws everything down to the ankles, and Stan, he's like, oh, in this last minute, draw me some feet. Just give me a nice pair of feet. And he just does like 2 blocks, and he's like, I think that's enough.
Yeah. God, good old Rob Liefeld.
Like, good old Stan.
I forget what this has to do
James-
with James Gunn.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this is good news.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, we'll see what happens from it.
I mean, that's the thing. All this stuff is so up in the air, and I mean, I think there's a whole separate conversation to be had about everything being just far too reactive. Like everyone's reacting now to this, and this situation is a result of people being overly reactive to things.
Yeah.
Which is in of itself was caused by people being overly reactive to things. It's like, I don't know. It's all kind of exhausting.
It very much is.
And at the end of the day, I want good content. I want to see good people getting a chance to make that good content. I think James Gunn, for his faults, from what I believe, and I will probably come to rue this comment at some point, but I think at the end of the day, he's a pretty decent guy from more or less what I've heard.
Yeah.
At least I want to believe he's that way. And his movies have been good, so I guess this is a good thing. And we love DC characters, so in good hands, that's good.
Yeah.
Um,
My biggest question out of all of this, even though I feel like I know the answer because he's not an idiot, is what Batista's going to do.
oh,
Because Batista has been
fuck knows.
because he's been very vocal about leaving the movie since.
Yeah, I mean, I
Gunn
guess
left.
I guess credit to him for sticking to his friend
Yes.
in a way that I think the rest of the cast is being a little more diplomatic, but also I think the other cast members have a lot more on the line.
Oh yeah. And I'm also curious how what all is in their contract because we've already had 2 instances of recasts mid-franchise, but both
Yeah.
at the very, very beginning.
Yeah, they haven't done it in a long
It's much harder
time.
to do now since they're
I
established.
mean, I think it's basically since the Avengers they've kept consistent, right? I don't think they've done any recasting since Ruffalo.
yeah, it's only been Ruffalo and Rhodey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious, because they've got to have something in their contract where, once you're here, you can't leave until we say you're gone.
Yeah, they have to have some ironclad shit in there. So I don't know. I mean, it's it'll all be very interesting how this all plays out.
And also, I want to know what likeness rules they have, because I imagine,
Oh, yeah.
if you sign, they have your face forever. And so I imagined Guardians 3 with just Drax in the background of every shot, not talking,
right.
not moving.
Well, so we can keep going. Why not? So
we've given up.
yeah,
at
we've
this
given
point.
up. I mean, honestly, Joyride's fucking terrible, so it's fine. So there is a thing about that. You basically can't. You have to pay an actor for the use of their image is one thing. So kind of where this all started, actually, and you may know this, Cameron, is Back to the Future 2. Because Crispin Glover is only in the first Back to the Future movie as George McFly.
That's right.
It's
I
a
did hear about
different
that.
actor. I can't remember
'Cause
his name. It's
he's
like Jeffrey
crazy.
something. He's crazy, but he just basically he wanted. My understanding is he more or less wanted too much money, and I think some of the details I don't have
And
exactly
he's
correct.
crazy. Didn't he punch Conan?
He may have. I don't know. We're not talking about that tangent. We're on this different tangent off of
sorry.
another tangent. But in this tangent, basically, and when it came to doing Back to the Future 2, they just cast a different actor, and then they shot it in such a way to make it seem like it was still Crispin Glover. And he sued and won. And
did
that
hear about
basically
this,
set a
yeah.
precedent whereby you can't just pretend someone is in a movie when they're not actually. And I mean, obviously there are ways around that. I think it has to do with you have to have the agreement of the estate and other things. But that's how we had
Letterman. He punched Letterman.
Letterman, okay, there we
That's
go.
what it was.
that's how we got Brando in Superman Returns. That's how we got weird CGI Peter Cushing in Rogue One. It's there are ways around this, but I imagine if Batista walks or if Disney lets him go, they'll recast and they will basically just ignore him.
Yeah.
I think the reality is he's locked in and they're just going to make him do it.
Yeah, and I brought this up to my friend this morning. He's not stupid enough to leave Disney. If you get
I would like to think
blacklisted-
so.
Yeah, if you get because I think he's a great actor.
I think he is, yeah.
He's still at the very beginning of his career.
I thought he was excellent in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah,
He's good as Hinks Inspector. Yeah.
I can only remember Blade Runner
Okay.
and Guardians, but he's at the beginning of his career, he
Yeah.
would be a fucking idiot if I understand standing by your friends, but Hollywood is way too
And
not nuanced. What's the word I'm looking for?
The opposite of nuanced?
It's way too no, not particular. Threatening.
Pedantic, no.
Threatening to.
I don't think he would. I think he knows better. I think Disney would go enough out of the way to make sure he stayed. I mean, they have the whole Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and I would like to think on top of it, if he got really serious about walking, James is going to be like, "Don't,
Yeah,
just don't do it. It's not worth it. I'm good. I'm taken care of."
yeah. Because we've even seen actors that have tried to just not care about acting anymore that are still in front of movies.
Yeah, Ben Affleck for one.
I was going to say Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh yeah, that too.
Where she wants so badly to just be out of those movies. Because I mean, she's in a similar situation because Drax is just makeup on makeup.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Should we think of some other actors to just completely shit upon? Other like A-list actors to just berate on the podcast?
Let's do it.
Franco. Hate him.
Which one? Both?
James.
Okay.
Dave's cool. Hey, James
Yeah,
Franco.
Dave's great. I don't know. Let's start the episode.
Oh, no, we'll leave it there. All right.
Wait,
so,
are we recording?
Yeah, we haven't recorded any of this,
Okay,
actually.
okay.
We're going to cut it all out.
Good. That's fine.
Yeah, so we actually are here to talk about Batman Beyond. Part of the reason we let this go long with the news, so there's one to talk about, but two, I'm going to be perfectly honest, Joyride was my least favorite episode of Batman Beyond so far.
Mm-hmm.
I was so bored with this.
I think, okay, so how would you compare it to, was it The Man Who Killed Batman? No. What's the first Penguin episode where the kids try and steal
I've
the
got Batman in
Batmobile?
my basement.
That one.
I like that better than this.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, but we've talked. I have a sauce for that episode because I had that random like sound effect book
Okay.
as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most random thing, but like
do those still exist?
they must exist somewhere.
Yeah.
What I like about that episode, it's weird and it's got that bizarre like Penguin Batman umbrella screwdriver fight. Because the DCAU review, another podcast that basically does this, and I apologize, guys, if you listen to us and I haven't listened to you because I'm afraid you're better and I can't bring
Much
myself.
better, yeah.
I can't bring myself to listen. But they just did that episode and they point out specifically that ridiculous fight.
Okay.
That whole thing is so absurd, but at least it's trying to do something. This to me was just really boring and pointless, and I didn't think there was anything substantial in here. Like there's an attempt at a bit of commentary about like the guy who's just like wants to be part of the gang but realizes they're all a bunch of idiots. This is why I bother getting involved. He just walks away. But it just was all so flat. Like I like the Jokers as a concept. I don't think they're well executed here. It's just a generic looking ship. It's a generic looking government test pilot. It's all generic. It's all just really fucking generic.
Who was that voice? Because it sounded so familiar.
She's in tons and tons of stuff.
Okay.
I'm totally blanking on the name. I'm looking her up right now.
I scrolled through her IMDb.
Did you ever watch Just Shoot Me?
I don't think so.
The NBC sitcom
No.
that took place at like a Vogue sort of magazine. And she was one of the main characters in that.
Okay.
But like she does tons and tons of stuff.
Because the voice sounded so. It's one of those where like you know it, but I couldn't put a finger on where I'd heard
Wendy
it.
Malick
Yeah.
is the actor. Yeah, she does tons and tons and tons of stuff. I mean, she also was a character in Static Shock.
But only in like one episode.
Yeah, an episode called Kidnapped. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she's a very prolific character actor, voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like she's fine. But it's just
So what would you do? Because I think there's one small step we could have done to make this episode better. How would you have fixed this?
how would I have fixed this?
Oh, hold on. I want to talk about the very beginning. Just a quick point, which I loved in the episode, is the Jokers steal the experimental ship. They go crash into a fast food joint, steal a bunch of food. Terry's there the whole time and doesn't give a fuck about what's going on until there's a drop of ketchup that falls out of the ship and lands on his shoe. And then he's like, oh, I got to stop these motherfuckers.
Probably got some nice suede boots.
Yeah.
You cannot get barbecue sauce out of suede.
I love that was his turning point. Like, he watched this whole thing go down, didn't even hesitate, or didn't even try and grab his batsuit.
The two great tragedies in Terry's life: the murder of his father,
and
getting sauce spilled on his shoe by the Jokers.
Yeah. Took it very personally too.
What would I have done differently? I mean, I guess.
Because I have two ideas. For this episode.
I would focus on the concept of the Jokers as an ineffectual gang. And I would have emphasized the kind of gang warfare mentality. I wouldn't have given them a government experimental ship. I mean, this is a little bit darker, but I would have given them access to like some actual real weaponry. Like I would have set them up as just being a bunch of like loser pranksters. And I would have maybe had that opening sequence being them having a hazing ritual with the new guy that involved them pulling a prank on the T's, whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like my nose all stuffed up.
Oh, you're
Um,
So kind of like that, the episode of Superman where the gang members get the apocalypse technology.
yeah, I would have done something more along those lines where they're clearly just messing with the other gangs just to have something to do. And then all of a sudden they actually have the chance to be genuinely dangerous, and they underestimate the damage they can cause. And I mean, I would have made this kind of a more PSA skewing episode about like how easy it can be to get drawn into this sort of stuff, and also just to underestimate the consequences of your actions. And I would have focused on that, and I would have made it much more street level than this big crazy shit flying around. And I might have actually continued to have Terry be kind of a background character in all of it, and maybe focus more on the kid getting recruited in.
Yeah, because that's my first idea, is have the whole episode focus on him. I'm fine with the ship aspect of it, but I would have loved, like you said, an anti-gang PSA kind of episode where, from the kid's point of view, he thinks he's almost like joining a cult, because it's basically what it is.
Yeah.
You see him, seeing these people as friends, and what they're doing is right. From the kid's perspective, he wants to be a part of that. And then as the episode goes on, he kind of, when Batman shows up, that's kind of his first inclination of like, oh, hold on, Batman's supposed to be the good guy. Am I the bad guy?
Oh, that could be cool. Yeah.
And then, it can kind of twist where like, the guy gets left behind. We can keep that scene where the one Joker gets left behind. The guy like looks out of his window, and you see Batman just like knock him out. And the guy's like, oh, no, Batman is in the wrong. And then it goes to the final scene where you can keep the whole nuclear explosion thing, where the guy's like, oh, fuck all these guys. I'm doing this for me. They mean nothing to me. And that's when it finally clicks of like, oh, no, these are bad people.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I think that's an interesting idea. And they play a little bit with this idea of... what's the main guy's name? Scab. With Scab feeling like he has no power, feeling really insignificant. That's an interesting idea, and I think that fits like a teenage mentality in a lot of ways. You're in that sort of space, and I think that fits with the broader themes of the show. I would have maybe put a lot more of that on the new recruit, that he's looking for a sense of purpose and looking for a sense of like power and prestige, and then made Scab a dark reflection of that, rather than like the focal point of that commentary, because they don't really do enough with it.
Yeah. My second idea, which I was connecting this episode a lot more to this character, because I love this character. I would have loved a more Roxy Rocket kind of story.
Oh,
where they
okay.
find the ship, the first thing that's ever been faster than the Batwing.
Oh, that could be cool.
Like they're not doing this to mess with the city. They just want to fuck with Batman.
Yeah. Okay, that would have been fun.
And they're just adrenaline junkies, and that's all they care about is like they're just doing crime to get Batman out, because like, oh look, we're finally at your level.
Yeah. And actually, that would have been a fun idea to see,
especially with the Jokers, because that's their whole thing.
To do with the Jokers, and then also to see how Tara would react to that, because obviously when it's Bruce is such a stickler to begin with. That he's a perfect follow to that. But what happens when your Batman still has a sense of fun and is a teenager at the end of the day?
Yeah.
And he's got his own like superpowered speeding.
Well, yeah, I imagine it like the scene from Back to the Future where like the guys are like, "What are you, chicken?"
Oh yeah.
And then he does, like, you see his competitive nature come out.
I think it would have been way more interesting.
Yeah, he's not trying to stop them anymore. He's trying to beat them now.
Yeah, that's a much better episode too.
'Cause I would love to see Terry meet Roxy.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever get a version anything quite like that.
Yeah.
But that would be a very fun dynamic to see play out, because this just for me was kind of flat, and I was also kind of thrown too because they introduced this other gang, the T's.
Do we ever see them again?
I don't know.
Or are they based off of anyone?
I mean, well, that's the thing.
Mr. Terrific?
Well, that's my question is because they have the look of Mr. Terrific, and I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't think so.
Like, I don't know. Once again, we shine the Maddie signal. Maddie, help explain this to us.
To show my arrogance of the DC universe, Mr. Terrific is his powers, he can escape anything, right?
No, that's Mr. Miracle.
Damn it, I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, Mr. Miracle, that's Scott Free, and he's from Apocalypse.
Yeah, he also has face paint though, right? Doesn't he also have a T on his face?
I don't think he has a T on his face, but he's kind of. I mean, he has like a cowl, and then like his face comes through it, and his face is painted up. But it doesn't look like a T from what I recall. But no, Mr. Terrific. I think he was like an Olympic athlete, and then he's also an inventor. So he invents a whole bunch of gadgets. I think.
It's a cross on his face.
Yeah,
that's how I always.
Oh, okay. So I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know
it's
where
just face paint with the line that goes up. I'm just wrong. I'm just straight up wrong.
Well, I'm glad you acknowledge these things.
Yeah.
I don't know where the tease things come from, but if anyone knows, please tell us because I'm very curious if that's a thing, if it started here, if it was somewhere else, or why they went for that because I don't really know.
We never see the what are their names? Batman Returns, Dark Knight Returns,
The mutants?
Yeah.
No, not that I recall.
Because I feel like the teas were just the mutants.
The fill-in.
They just couldn't say that.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Because even like the main guy, he's like no one. He even sounds like the head mutant. He's like no one messes with the teas.
Yeah, that's true. They even kind of look like him a little bit too. Yeah, that's probably what they were going for.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a weird. It's a total throwaway episode. I don't think there's anything in here that is noteworthy enough for inclusion. There's not like a moment or an idea that's so special that it's.
I did like the beginning when Terry's talking to Bruce. He's explaining the situation. He's like, they have this spacecraft that's really fast. And Bruce is just like not even paying attention. He's like, well, stop them.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole conversation. I think it's the only thing Bruce says in the episode.
That's actually the funny thing. That was one of the little bits of trivia I found was that this is the shortest ever like role for a single episode for Kevin Conroy. That's all he says in the whole thing is just amazing. Stop them.
Yeah.
That one moment's pretty good. But
I like that.
Otherwise, it's quite garbage. I don't know. Anything else worth talking about on this one?
No, but I really like the idea of Terry meeting Roxy now. I feel like that would have been a great story.
Might be a good idea for the DCAU legacies.
Yeah.
They're in there somewhere, guys. All right. So then we also have this week Lost Soul, which I think a better idea and overall, in general, a better executed concept. I mean, we've seen it before. Let's put someone's computer brain loose in the world or someone's brain into a computer and then it gets out on the net.
Yeah.
Did you think it worked? How'd you feel about it?
The face is creepy.
It is. And
it feels very like Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I was trying to figure out I think it's supposed to look like Death from the Seventh Seal.
You lost me there.
So I actually don't know much about this. If you have seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, they like play off of this.
Okay.
Who's the actor? I'm bringing up an image of it now. Here we go. Ingmar Bergman's.
Okay, I see the resemblance.
I think that's what it's. I didn't see anywhere specifically reference that that's what this was. It's Max von Sydow? Yes. No.
Oh, I've seen this photo before.
Okay, yeah. I think that's what it's supposed to be a reference to, but I couldn't find a specific confirmation of that. Because it is a very creepy look. It's a cool look. It's almost disappointing they don't do more with it.
Yeah.
Like, I get that the whole point of the episode is that...
No, I was right.
What?
In Courage, there was this face.
What
Which I think is also a reference to that.
It might be. That also kind of looks like...
This came out a few years after.
Yeah, that's a live-action face inside the cartoon, right? Or is it
yeah, absolutely.
That also, that kind of looks like The Man in the Moon.
A little bit.
Yeah. George Méliès.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Random film lessons come in handy sometimes.
No, that's fine. Filling in my gaps, which is everything that's not, 98 to 2004.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen The Devil Wears Prada, and I got a lot of shit for that recently. So
I just watched it. Yeah, and it lives up to the hype. I now
have to watch it lest friend of the show / my other podcast co-host Jonathan kill me. I'm surprised he didn't already, to be honest. But yeah, I like that look. I almost wish they had done more with that face. Like, it would have been kind of cool to see that visual continue on throughout they keep bringing him back a little bit in some ways. Like, they show that face projected over the circuitry of the Batsuit.
Yeah.
But that idea of that massive face on a wall having so much influence everywhere and not having any sort of physical presence, but having a really strong visual presence.
Yeah.
Would have been kind of cool.
It it gave me the same vibe as that 1980s Apple commercial.
The 1984 ad from Apple.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The Ridley Scott commercial from way back in the day.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean the creepiest part of the episode, which really like messed with me a little bit, is the very last scene where Vance is kind of where Terry short circuits the suit, and instead of just having Vance die or having the suit turn off, you see him losing his memory and kind of like reverting to pre-birth.
Yeah, like a mental degradation,
which is terrifying.
It's really, really unsettling. Like there's some really cool, creepy things in here, like really unsettling things in here. Like when Vance first tries to kill Terry and first takes over the Batsuit, and he just has him walk out into the ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, that suit would clearly have some sort of oxygen system in place, but ignoring
Vance
that,
could turn it off.
He could turn it off, yeah. But like that was the only thing I remembered about this episode, and I've always remembered that scene because it's really, really creepy.
Yeah.
Even the fact that Bruce, the only way he can stop it is to deactivate the suit, and Terry just has to stand there basically as the tide goes up and up. It's really intense.
They needed. I didn't ever feel intense from that scene, just because the music didn't reflect it very well.
Yeah, the music.
They almost
great.
did it as like a comedic scene, like the way Terry's face froze.
Oh yeah, he's like, well,
he seemed very. Yeah, it was very like.
Here comes another wave.
I was ready to hear the like Arrested Development song,
or the Curb Your Enthusiasm song.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Yeah.
It's like, well, this is my life now. I guess I'll deal with this.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a fun idea. So this was a random little moment, but I thought you'd appreciate it. So after Bruce deactivates the suit and goes and picks up Terry, and they're back in the Batcave, and the suit's just lying there. They walk out, and then Vance takes control of the suit, and it gains form. And when he puts the cowl on like it's a helmet, my immediate thought was Scooby-Doo. There's something about that shot of like the suit with the open neck, the green light coming out, and the helmet coming down on top and putting it back in place. It just kind of reminded me of like one of the monsters back in the day, like putting a mask on or something.
Yeah. Well, because they all had perfect form-fitting helmets.
Yeah. Mysteriously. I don't know. It was just kind of a goofy little thing. But it's also cool then when Terry goes off to fight the suit.
And you all... Excuse me. I don't know why I'm so gassy today.
No, it's fine. I can barely talk with a gunk in my throat. Aren't we quite the pair?
Where you see Bruce's concern for him.
Yeah.
Where I couldn't tell until Terry said, like, you know, nothing's going to stop me from going out. I thought Bruce was being like, oh, you should be Robin now, and I'll be Batman again. Because he was talking about, like, oh, you can put on one of the other suits, but they're riddled with bullet holes.
Yeah.
I was ready for, like, oh, here's, you know, I had this leftover Robin suit if you want to throw that on. See how that fits.
Bruce, this is tailored.
Who did this?
How did you...
This isn't even... Did you do this, Bruce?
Yeah.
It's
Bruce,
not the right size.
How did you know that I dressed to the left? This is... This is concerning.
But it was cool for, like, Bruce to hand over the utility belt, because you know that means so much to him.
Yeah.
And then immediately after Terry blow it up.
I know.
I wanted Bruce to, like, say something about that. I guess he couldn't, because he didn't have the earpiece in.
He probably just pulled open a drawer, grabbed another one.
Yeah. But that was the display one.
That's true. That's the prime.
I would have loved
that belt
if it was just a display belt. And Terry goes to try and find something. It's like, Bruce, there's nothing in these pockets.
It's just dust and lint.
Yeah.
You crazy old bastard.
Is this a smoke? No, it's a gumball. Not even a smoke pellet. It's a fucking gumball, Bruce.
Yeah. It was fun to see him go super analog, though. Like having to pull out the old-fashioned lockpick set.
Yeah.
And use the original batarangs, and like the idea that the implication that the new Batsuit has maybe some sort of targeting system in it, because he just throws the batarang and goes way off course.
Yeah.
Plus, that's just, I don't know, that's a cool look, too, with him just wearing the Nightwing mask and the utility belt. It's pretty awesome.
And then at the end, when Bruce is like, the suit's out of commission, but Batman isn't, you can't expect him to go up. He doesn't have your plethora of gangster wardrobe.
Yeah.
I mean, probably he does at this point, but like he can't go out as Terry.
He can just go out undercover as a pizza boy again and again and again.
Yeah, this is only
with
costume.
a really shitty Brooklyn accent.
Mm-hmm. It's just different pizza companies, different logos.
Oh, hey, Ink, what you doing?
Yeah, so just from New York to New Jersey to Boston, all sound the exact same.
He's never been to any of those places.
No,
he's a city kid.
Yeah,
the wrong city.
Yeah, he's a West Coast kid.
Isn't Gotham on the East Coast?
Probably.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to separate it from New York and Boston and New Jersey.
He's a DC kid.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Or try and do an accent, like a Star City accent, even though they don't have one.
No, because they're California.
Yeah. But yeah. What else is East West Coast?
Chicago. I mean, I guess Gotham's supposed to be kind of
Chicago. Where is Chicago in your mind?
Well, I mean, it's not the East Coast now, is it?
It's not the West Coast either.
But it's west of the East Coast.
Yeah, but that's not the West Coast.
I mean, we don't
Give me
have
a nice West Coast accent. You're like Dallas?
We don't have Memphis?
Yeah.
We don't have accents on the West Coast. I mean, we get like the Valley Girl a little bit. Like, guess we have like the Valley Girl and like the Surfer Bro. Wow.
Nailed it.
Yeah, spot on. Look at that.
Isn't there
synchronicity.
what's the like? Isn't there an Oregon in the DC?
An Oregonian?
Universe?
Oh, like
no, not the accent, but like I feel like there was
wouldn't
a
that be
city.
Coast City?
I think so.
Is that supposed to be Seattle?
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. But I mean, like Seattle doesn't have an accent.
Well, then hold on. Which one's San Francisco? I thought that was Coast City.
Don't they have San Francisco? Well, because isn't it the whole thing?
I'm trying to remember the really shitty map that like a fan made years ago.
Isn't the whole thing with DC that it's our world, but just like
with cities added in
10% bigger? That's how you can accommodate having like Gotham, Metropolis, and New Jersey, New York, DC, Star City, San Francisco.
Metropolis that apparently stretches from New York to Kansas.
Oh my god, I know. Okay, I'm looking this up. DC Comics West Coast cities. I think it's
because isn't Coast City over there? Yeah, because Coast City is by Star City.
All right, here we go.
No, it's not.
From February of 2016,
the most up to date.
To coincide with the release of the classic DC Comics film, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Dawn
of Justice.
Cool off.
Exactly. God damn it. Here we go. List of cities.
Well, it should be just a map.
Gateway City.
Never heard of it. Don't care for it.
Harbor Town on the West Coast. It's a stand-in for San Francisco.
Okay, there you go.
Star City is Des Moines. Central City is like
Iowa,
Kansas City.
Wait, which one is Kansas?
Central City.
Okay, that makes sense.
National City is Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Of course.
Who's the national
Coast
city again?
City is San Diego. National is Supergirl.
Okay.
Opal City is somewhere in Maryland. Midway is Chicago. And there we go. And then the next article is this really bizarre looking photo of Malcolm McDowell. That's weird. Nothing to do with anything. So I guess there is no San Francisco in DC Comics.
There's also no, I guess, El Paso. But I was going to say there's no Texas cities in the DC universe, except Blue Beetle's from El Paso.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No. Why would I know that?
Jaime Reyes? Yeah, El Paso.
Oh, that Blue Beetle.
Oh, yeah, not Ted Cord.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that about Jaime Reyes either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know.
I'm happy I
Texas.
remembered his name, too. I
Yeah.
usually forget Jaime.
I don't know Texas.
How dare you?
I've never been in Texas.
Really?
I mean, I passed through the airport. It doesn't count.
Yeah, which one? DFW or left field? Or one that's not
I'm
in
sorry,
Dallas.
sorry, left field? What the hell is left?
Love Field.
I'm pretty sure it would pass through Dallas or Houston.
So DFW probably.
I don't fucking know. I literally passed through. I wasn't paying attention. I was like, why am I in Texas?
Because it's great. Deep in the heart of.
It was a pass-through point for me to go from California to Florida. Let me also clarify. By Florida, I mean Disney World.
Yeah.
Why else would I go to Florida? I'm sorry for
this was
Florida
the map
listeners.
that I
Your state's a
remember
shithole.
seeing.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, I'll post that to the story because
Yeah.
it's a cool. It's an actual
okay. Yeah.
So it's an actual U.S. map with the heroes and cities laid over it.
Oh, I guess maybe San Francisco does exist because it says that the Teen Titans are in San Francisco. What city?
Okay.
What city are they in the cartoon?
It's a great question. I don't remember. Fun fact. So sorry.
Call yourself a
I
Titans
got really
fan.
excited. I had a rare slow day at work the other day, and so
Fair enough.
I was very curious what the top 15 longest running animated series were in America.
Okay.
'Cause I can't count Japan because they have, their cartoons have been running since the 60s.
Right.
Obviously, Simpsons is number one.
Yes.
The reason that this sparked up was people were talking about like, SpongeBob has been playing for so long and nothing is even close to as long as that's been on air. I'm like, fuck you. Simpsons is out. Family Guy came out the same year as SpongeBob. South Park came out 2 years before SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And they were talking like the other kid cartoons, and like none of them have lasted. I'm like, motherfucker, Fairly Odd Parents came out a year later. And so that was.
Is it still running though?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, Butch left.
Oh,
Butch
okay.
left in 2017. So I don't think there have been new episodes since then, but it does not say, or Nick has not confirmed that it has been canceled.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that's been running since 2001. So I guess a year and a half after. But after I did the list of most episodes, I was curious who had the fastest production cycle per show.
South Park, right?
Just questions you ask yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Surprisingly, no, because South Park had a few years off. I did it, just an average, like overall average per year, not
okay.
like per year. South Park was only at like 16 episodes per year.
Okay, so
because they took a year off.
Who's had the most output then?
The one Teen Titans Go
Really?
averages 40 episodes a year.
How long are the episodes?
I assume they're the 15-minute episodes because that's
Okay.
the only way they could get around that.
Holy
Because
shit.
because online there are officially around 200 episodes,
My God.
and the show's only been running for 5 years.
My God.
Yeah, and that blew my
It's
mind.
insane.
The lowest one, which I also didn't realize ran for so long, was Beavis and Butthead. Had almost
Oh.
200 episodes as well.
Oh, wow.
But they were much slower. They only averaged like 10 episodes a year.
I mean, back then, I think those were pretty tough shows to animate.
Well, because they just had so many levels of approval.
Oh, God, that's absolutely true. Yeah.
Old school MTV.
oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
But it was a cool list to make up. I don't
That is
remember
pretty cool,
all
yeah.
of them that were on there. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had 2 series on there.
Jesus, really?
Yeah. So the 80s to 90s series was around number 10. And then the early 2000s series, which I completely forgot existed,
Oh, yeah, same.
was number 15.
Oh, crazy.
Also up there, if I remember, Adventure Time was very high up there, like almost rivaling SpongeBob. So they also had a very fast production schedule because
Yeah.
that one only lasted from 2010 to now
Oh, okay.
because that just ended.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The things you learn.
in case anyone wants to know, I can post that list somewhere.
Post it somewhere.
No one will care.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Lost Soul?
I think we covered it all.
Okay.
So,
So,
great line was Terry talking to Bruce about, not being sure about fighting the suit. And he's like, one of my biggest questions for myself is Batman just the suit or the man inside? And I thought that was interesting because that's the complete opposite of Bruce's thinking from BTOS.
right,
Where
yeah.
he's always like, am I the man or am I the bat? And so it was a cool kind of like
Oh,
contrast.
I never thought
to
about
see
that,
they're
actually. Yeah, that they're
almost opposites.
Yeah, that Terry is worried he can't live up to the mantle, and Bruce is worried he can't escape it.
Exactly.
Oh, look at them being perfect follies for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like this episode. I think there's some good stuff in there, and overall, a pretty good idea, good concept. So actually, as part of our notes from friends, I do have
Oh yeah, we have
some
notes
stuff
today.
about this specific episode, actually.
All right.
So our good old friend James Strecker wrote into us, and he was talking about how Vance has an appearance elsewhere of sorts. In the JLU episode Task Force X, which is obviously like the Suicide Squad, essentially. There's a character in there called Vance, and it's implied that he's a member of the same family, probably the son of the original Robert Vance that was put into the computer.
Yeah.
And because it's like similar character design. And I thought that was an interesting, random little thing to throw in there.
That is really interesting.
Yeah. Also, as James pointed out, the voice of Vance in this is Stacy Keach, aka Phantasm.
Oh,
I know.
fascinating.
Yeah, but I think it's really interesting that they would. That's just a random reference to put in there. I wonder why they did that.
Oh, sorry, I did have one more reference or one more thing to
goddamn
bring up. Sorry, I was going through my notes and I forgot this one. The chair that Vance hooks his grandson up to is clearly from The Matrix.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I wanted to see the timeline. So The Matrix came out 7 months before this episode.
No, that would do it.
So very much like
Yep.
they saw the movie and like, yeah, we're gonna make that.
We're just gonna make that a thing. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna try and make it
and
different.
that totally fits too, because like when the code takes over the Batsuit, it's all green and black. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. The really obvious Matrix references.
This is very much them just geeking out over the Matrix.
Understandable. Great fucking film.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was kind of a cool little thing. And then in regards to Joyride, actually, so Paul Hill wrote to us on Instagram asking if we spotted the reference in the cave in the very beginning. So when the Jokers are taking the recruit out to do the initiation, they go into a cave, and in the foreground we see like a skeleton, and it's clearly supposed to be the original Joker because he's got like the the flower on his shirt who looks like it.
I did not realize that was supposed to be the Joker.
Yeah.
I also, the perspective on that was messing with my head because when they're standing outside of it, I thought it was a pit, and they were gonna like throw him in the pit.
Just throw him in the bottom of a pit.
Yeah, and so that was just like someone else they threw down there.
My thought was that was something they staged to make it look like they were really serious.
I assumed that's what it was.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it could also be the Joker's body, or it could be that exact thing. But another one is I'm probably gonna horribly pronounce this, but Ranka Customs. Please tell me how to pronounce your name. But he does some really cool custom action figure stuff all around DC, EU or AU characters on Instagram.
I think I've seen a couple of them pop up.
Yeah, they're really, really cool. But he actually wrote to us about last week's episode. He was asking if you were talking about like those like the mud monster from Earth Mover, and he wanted to know if you were thinking of Al Muddy from Aladdin, the TV show. I have no idea what that is.
I was not, because I did look it up after. I am very sad to say that my Disney knowledge has a big hole in it from all of the TV spin-off shows.
Oh God, what a grotesque-looking creature!
Yeah, it's kind of a monster.
He's like a mud-looking genie sort of thing.
Oh, I still like
horrifying
because I think I showed you the glue monster from Powerpuff Girls last week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Elmer Skloo. Which is so good.
So fucking dumb.
Oh my God, I love it.
No, I did not. I was not thinking of that. I did not watch much of the Aladdin TV series.
Okay.
Sad to say.
Oh.
I don't think if I watched any of that. I watched a little bit of Hercules. I watched like a handful of episodes of Aladdin.
Yeah.
Never really watched the Timon and Pumbaa one.
No, I don't know.
Watched a little bit of Tarzan.
Did you ever watch any of the 101 Dalmatians animated one?
I did not even know they had a series.
So it was an animated show that followed up the live action movie where they've all moved out to the farm out in the countryside.
Oh, great.
And it's like, there's like a chicken who thinks he's a dog. And I think Cruella de Vil is still the villain. I vaguely recall it. I don't know how this just plots out on that show, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But I vaguely recall that it existed.
I'm trying to remember because they had a Little Mermaid show for a while.
Of course they did.
I'm trying to think of the ones that didn't get TV shows. I don't think
Rescuers.
Beauty and the Beast had a TV show. I don't think Rescuers had a show.
Cinderella?
No, because they were all from the Renaissance.
Oh, right.
Minus 101 Dalmatians.
But even then, that was from a 90s film version, so you're not far off.
So yeah, Little Mermaid did. Beauty and the Beast, I don't think had one. Because I mean, they wouldn't, because everyone would be transformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How could you?
I forgot about that. Aladdin did. Lion King did. Hunchback, I think had a show. No, they had a sequel that was very poorly animated. I don't think they ever had a
never
show.
bothered with it. Mulan?
Hold on, I'm going in order. So Pocahontas.
I think Pocahontas had a show, right? Or
I know there was a sequel.
There was a sequel because they introduced the guy who she actually ended up marrying, who wasn't Jon
because
Snow.
she goes to Europe.
Yeah.
I don't think she ever had a
she
show.
was there? I think the real
one did.
The real
yeah.
one died, yeah. Gil.
I don't think Pocahontas had a show. Hercules did.
Yeah,
I
obviously.
don't think Mulan did, but it did have a sequel.
Right.
A much later sequel, now that I think about it. Tarzan did. Emperor's New Groove did. And that's kind of the end of the so-called run. Did Atlantis did not. I don't think they did.
I don't think Treasure Planet did either.
Treasure Planet definitely did not.
Yeah, it was a big flop for them, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lilo and Stitch did.
Of course,
Treasure Planet was a huge flop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the Lilo and Stitch
I
show. loved
the Lilo and Stitch one because you got to see all the other experiments.
Yeah, it was fun. Okay, well, that's not what you're thinking of then in terms of the Mud Monster. I don't know. Maybe it was Scooby Doo. I don't know. But maybe we'll find out someday. And then I kind of notes from friends / shout out, but people have been doing some really cool stuff recently. So one good example is our friend Benjamin David, who does the Above and Batman Beyond podcast. He was at New York Comic Con. And he just put up tons of really cool photos and video interviews of their cosplayers. He actually ran into Kevin Conroy.
That's awesome.
And had a little snippet with him, which is really awesome. So I'll obviously plug all this in the notes, but go check that out. And then a few people have been doing the the DCAU Inktober challenge.
Thank you for using the right word.
What?
Inktober.
What else would I say?
There's Inktober, Drawloween, Annie-tober.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was Inktober. Inktober. But two people I want to call out. One is Kiana Renee, a.k.a. Nerdy with Key, who has some really cool art up on Instagram. And then also Risotto Art on Instagram and Twitter. So they'll be in the notes. We follow them on social media. But they have just some really, really awesome artwork they've been doing. And they're big old Batman fans, too. And they're lovely people. So.
Yeah, I'd never seen that prompt list before. And that's really cool. There's a few others that I started following on my accounts that I don't have their names. I'm sorry, but they're great.
Well, thank God one of us comes semi-prepared.
Yeah. But it's really cool, and it makes me really happy to see a nerdy themed Inktober.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically just a whole bunch of the characters. But everyone's been doing some really cool stuff. And obviously we love all this stuff, and it's exciting to see that people love it too.
Yeah, yeah. For the people who aren't familiar with the design illustration world, Inktober is a kind of tradition that was started in 2009-ish by an illustrator who just wanted to get away from pencils and practice being confident in their line strokes. So through the month of October, you're supposed to do a drawing in ink.
Oh, I don't know why it's going to be in ink. Oh.
Yeah, so Inktober.
That would make way more sense.
That was the initial idea, and now people, do whatever they want. So,
yeah.
I mean, like I said, there's Drawloween and Annie-tober, and it's for the animators.
Right.
In case that word doesn't make sense, because it doesn't make sense.
I just assumed everyone was drawing their favorite scenes from the hit Broadway musical Annie.
Yes.
So.
Or Anastasia.
No, just Annie.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not that creative.
But it's an awesome tradition. A bunch of my friends are doing it this year, and this is my first year attempting it.
Yeah, you've been doing some stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to. I'm trying my best to not do nerdy references because I want to try and
put them in
myself.
there.
No, I mean the one I'm gonna do tonight is nerdy, but I'm trying my best to not use that as a crutch. So most of my stuff is not themed around. I have one Harry Potter piece that I did, which I really liked. But yeah, it's really cool. And if anyone's curious, just look up the hashtag Inktober on Instagram, and it's beautiful, beautiful work.
Yeah, there's one specifically for the Batman one, and I forget, but again, I'll put it in the show notes. But that covers our lovely friends in the DCAU community and what they've been up to. But
thanks for your notes, friends.
I know, thank you. Now we get into what we've been up to.
What have we been up to? What have you been up to? Start with you today.
Let's start with me today. I'm fine. I'm clearly some kind of sick. I mean, physically, mentally, we already knew this was absolutely true. Emotionally, I'm basically a robot.
Same.
Yeah. I have had a little bit of free time recently, though. Shocking. And I've been able to catch up on some stuff. So I was catching up on some of the DC animated movies. So I watched Teen Titans Judas Contract.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
It's fine. I think the problem is after Teen Titans did that so well, there was no real good way to go with it. Because one, I knew the twist going in, which I did not know when I watched the original show. And also, the original show did a really great job of setting Tara up as someone you liked. I think that was the big problem here. The big problem here was that she was just really unlikable. Like, I think partway through we started to sympathize with her a little bit, but she's just super distant and off-putting. Oh, thank you. It's
the obvious one.
Oh yeah, hashtag Battober. Oh, that's fucking fantastic. All right, I'll add that in there. Thank you. But yeah, she's like, you're not really invested in her because she's just so obnoxious. And like there was some good stuff. I thought like the banter between Starfire and Nightwing was a little on the nose, but overall kind of fun and playful. I like their version of Damian. Actually, I mean, it helps that he's kind of the only version that exists right now, in non-comic format. But I like the niche he fills in that group. But overall, I didn't think it was a very successful adaptation. It didn't really do it for me.
Completely agree.
Yeah, so that wasn't great. I did also watch, though, Gotham by Gaslight.
I saw you watch that.
Yeah, because I've been using your DC universe. Have you watched it yet?
I started it, but my TV is too dark to watch that movie.
Oh, shit. Just up the brightness.
I guess. I'm just watching my computer.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I liked it. There's definitely some stuff we're talking about, so we'll do like a deeper dive on it after you've seen it, because there's some plot points that I want to talk with you about. But I thought, without going into a lot of detail, I think they did a pretty clever job of finding a way to incorporate a lot of known Batman characters into that world. And it looks good. The animation quality is pretty good.
That's good.
Plus, Bruce Greenwood as Batman, the second best Batman voice actor behind Kevin Conroy.
Wow.
Hands down.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, so he did Young Justice. He did Under the Red Hood. He did this. And also, he's the guy who I maintain is a little too old for now, but would have made an excellent Batman at some point.
Okay.
I love Bruce Greenwood.
Gotcha.
Absolutely love him. Captain Pike. Rest in peace.
Yeah, because the only... I probably brought this up before. The only, like, by Gaslight, or the steampunk era superhero that I've seen was they had an episode in the Green Lantern series where they went back and there was a steampunk Green Lantern.
That sounds awesome.
Was really good. I love that episode.
That's not up anywhere, is it? The Green Lantern animated series.
No, it's not.
That's so shocking. I mean, maybe that's a future rollout on the Universe app. I don't know.
I guess so. I'm honestly surprised because it's not streaming anywhere.
Yeah, I remember most people hold it in pretty high regards.
Because it's one that was definitely, like, you watch it for the writing.
Yeah.
Kind of shows. Because it was so well written. The characters were great. Anytime you get to see a Red Lantern and a Blue Lantern, just makes my heart so warm because I love them both so much.
I know.
My old screen name for everything used to be Yasmalt because that's the planet of the Red Lanterns.
Oh, we've talked about this.
We have talked about this.
God damn it. Continue to out nerdy yourself, Cameron.
I mean, I would.
And I love it. I wouldn't have you any other way.
I would jump between Kalti and Yasmalt.
Oh God.
Kalti being hello in Navian.
God damn it.
So I've been watching.
I'm not done.
Oh, what else have you been watching? I'm sorry. Or reading or listening to.
I also went to go see A Star Is Born.
You did?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
I have.
Okay. What do you think? Should we talk about it?
What's your opinion?
I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought that the music was really good. I thought the performances were really good. I was impressed with Bradley Cooper's capabilities as as a director. As Sam Elliott. Bradley Cooper played an amazing Sam Elliott. No, Sam Elliott's fantastic in this. The whole supporting cast is really good. I mean, it hit the beats that I was expecting based off what I knew of the story. I'd never seen any other versions of it. If I had one criticism, is that I wasn't as emotionally affected by it as I was hoping that I would be.
Oh, because I was fucked up.
Really? Like I came
ruined
really
my Thursday and Friday.
I'm so glad it ruined your days.
Ruined me.
I
honestly don't like the movie because of how much it ruined me.
Like it made you cry that much?
I didn't cry. It just like ripped me inside.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So sorry, you talk.
No, I mean I basically said my thing.
Okay.
Like what? I mean, well, I guess I'll put in a note here for like.
No, I don't have to go into the spoilers.
Okay.
No, because I mean the character, the way he is dealing with all of his shit and how everyone treats. I mean Bradley Cooper's character. Yeah. How he deals with all his shit and how people around him deal with his shit and make all of it his fault. Just made me so angry.
Why angry?
I don't know. I think I saw. I mean, like, I'm clearly not an alcoholic or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
But I think I took a lot of it very personally into seeing how other people treated him through his problems, and I'm like, fuck everyone in this film for not asking him how his fucking day is going, because he's bottling all of it up and not like it. The movie starts out. I'll go into this. I'll go into this one line. The movie starts out with him, dealing with the life of a celebrity. People are messing with him at bars. People are trying to take photos of him on the street. And Lady Gaga's character is like, no one asks you about yourself, do they?
Mm-hmm.
And so then she has one moment in the movie where she's like, tell me about your life. And then from that point on, she doesn't give a fuck about him anymore.
I don't.
And she takes care of him. But from the point where she starts taking care of him, she's, in my eyes, she was no longer looking at him the same way. She wasn't trying to help. She was just trying to make sure it went from curing to putting up with.
I mean, I think I can see that.
Well, we can talk about it more off air.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can kind of see that perspective. I think for me, it was more like people just realizing and trying to cope with the inevitability of a situation, like so dependency. I don't know. It felt like they knew they couldn't do much about it. Like, this is how he is. Like, we love him and we do what we can, but like, we can't stop this. We can't control this.
Yeah. And there's a whole subplot that I'm not going to talk about because it's like a pretty important part of the movie. We'll talk about it off air.
Okay.
That also I connected to very, very, very personally.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I quite liked it. I wanted to have it be a little bit gut punchier than it was. I mean, some of his stuff was hard to watch. Like, I mean, I'm like not a full-on alcoholic, but I've definitely had periods in my life when I was like drinking way, way, way too much. Mm-hmm. What a surprise! It also was part of my life when I wasn't out of the closet. It's almost like there's a correlation.
I don't think so.
None whatsoever. It's like I could kind of resonate with some of that a little bit, like that. Just self-destructive behavior manifesting itself that way.
Yeah.
Like that for me, that was hard to watch. Like it just kind of like glanced like my own life enough. I was like, oh man, this is like hard to watch a little bit.
And it makes me really sad to say this as a pure and proud Texan that I can't understand Sam Elliott.
Oh, I didn't have a problem with him.
I think also my theater, there was something wrong with the audio because a lot of the movie was very quiet.
Oh, okay.
And it made me very frustrated. If I wasn't in the middle of an aisle, I would have gone out and said something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this movie especially, you want good sound because like the music is incredible. I've listened to it.
Yeah, the songs are great.
Yeah.
I love the songs, but it was just the dialogue was a little too low, and especially there's like a 2-minute conversation between Sam Elliott and Bradley Cooper playing Sam Elliott.
It's like who can mumble harder?
Yes, and I'm like, I need fucking subtitles for this because I can't understand a word that they're saying. And there were people behind me that were like laughing at a joke, and I'm like, oh, what did they say? Did they say a joke?
Excuse me. What just happened?
Yeah,
I'm so
can I
lost.
get a translation, please?
Can we get subtitles for Bradley
just
Cooper?
for Sam Elliott. Also, love Dave Chappelle. Don't really understand why his character was there. I mean, I love anything with Dave Chappelle. I love. But
He's
his whole
good in it,
character,
though.
Yeah.
Andrew Dice Clay is in there randomly. He was good, too. I was like, what are you doing here, Andrew Dice Clay? Eddie Griffin? What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
I'll share my thoughts more.
Okay, yeah, we'll have a further off-air conversation. But I don't know, I mean, I think it's good. I think it's definitely worth seeing. So, not my favorite movie this year, and of the Oscar-Bastion films that I've seen, also not my favorite. But,
yeah.
So, what else have you been checking out?
Oh, God. Oh, that sweet, sweet Venom. No, I'm not going to talk about Venom.
Yeah, I'm saving all of it.
So you plugged this a few weeks ago, and I was so upset that I forgot that you plugged it, and I tried to plug it myself. But I'm almost done listening to the sequel of Not Your Sidekick, Not Your Villain, the second book in the
How
series.
is it?
Really good.
Yeah?
So I'm doing the audiobooks.
Of course, because you can't read.
Because I can't read. Never learned. Not gonna.
Nope.
Can't stop me.
Nope, can't stop you now.
What I didn't realize is the second book is from a completely different perspective.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so the first book follows Jess.
Yeah.
The second book follows Bells.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
Is it the same story from a different perspective, or is it a new story?
It's a previously on kind of story.
Oh, okay.
So the first maybe fourth of the book is the entire first book from his perspective.
Oh,
and I
interesting.
loved that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then it continues on from there.
Oh, interesting.
And so I bet the third book is going to be the same way with a third character.
Yeah.
I have a guess who it's going to be.
Okay.
But I don't want to get into that because you haven't read it yet.
I haven't read it yet. No.
And they're great.
Yeah, I really was impressed with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Just had a cool concept, a really original voice, really well written.
Yeah.
It's a good world too, like
Mm-hmm.
a really well built world. And I think when you're doing that kind of teenage drama superhero space, it could easily fall into like just real shitty tropes. But I thought it was really well done and inventive.
Yeah, and their power system I really like.
Oh yeah, that's cool too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm glad you're liking it. I'm
Yeah.
really glad it still continues to be good because it's a book I'm very excited to pick up.
Yeah, I have like 2 chapters left in book 2, and then I have to wait 3 years for book 3.
Is that how long it's gonna be?
I mean, I think there was like a 2-year gap between 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Did you never read Dreadnought and the Nemesis books, right?
I've not.
Okay. Those are also worth checking out. That's the one about the boy who basically becomes like Shazam, but when he becomes the idealized version, he becomes a woman. He becomes
Okay.
a girl.
Oh, I've heard. I think I just put that in my wish list.
Yeah. The first 2 are out. I'm not sure when the third one's coming out. Again, also a really good series.
Okay.
Really inventive world. So
And then my second plug, it started out as a guilty pleasure, but the show was like surprisingly good, especially the second season. Big Mouth just came out, season 2.
Oh yeah, I never watched the first one.
I mean, Mulaney is the main character.
Mulaney.
I mean, it's Mulaney and Jordan Peele are the main 2 characters, and so I will watch anything with them. But
Yeah.
season 2, Mulaney does.
Except for the Predator,
No, I watched The Predator.
but you wouldn't watch it again.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I
Just
did it
saying.
once. And that's Keegan Michael Key, not Jordan Peele.
Oh fuck! You're right.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Dumb fuck.
I'll see myself out.
Yes, please do.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Big Mouth season 2. I don't remember how like weird season 1 was, but season 2 like actually has characters, like character development, which is really
Oh, that's
interesting.
nice to have in your shows.
Yeah, they introduced a new villain. So the first season, it's like the puberty monster is the main villain.
Yeah.
And then season 2, it's the shame wizard,
Fuck, that's fantastic.
and he's fucking hilarious.
Who voices the Shame Wizard?
It's not a voice that I recognize.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not part of that like comedic circle.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But it's like it's a fun show, and it's definitely like, you know, very raunchy.
Mm-hmm.
There's many a weird song, because I think like every other episode has a musical number in it.
I love a good musical number.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
And-
an animated musical number.
Yeah. Coach Steve, voiced by Nick Kroll, is
Oh.
one of the funniest characters in the show in season 2.
Oh, Kroll.
Because his name is Coach Steve,
Jesus.
and he's great.
All right. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, just do it for Mulaney, because in season 2 he voices like other characters, and you don't really pick up on it until he says like a word or a line from his
His
specials.
stand-up. Okay,
You're
yeah.
like, oh, that's John Mulaney.
Good old Mulaney.
Yeah.
So fucking hilarious.
But I think that's it.
That's it. That does it.
That does it.
We're good. We're grand.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the voice. Jesse Clean, Jason Mantzoukas. Mantzoukas is always amazing in
Yeah.
it.
Okay, well, we looked that up. I'll start doing our outro here.
Go for it.
But yeah, if you want to reach out to us with some awesome artwork or just some thoughts and questions or comments about the DCAU, let me look up real fast what we're doing
Who's
next
this guy?
week.
Oh, sorry, it's Lupin.
Oh,
what am I saying?
David-
It's fucking Lupin.
It's David Thewlis.
Yeah.
Good old David Thewlis. Also, Ares from Wonder Woman.
No, he's Lupin.
Yeah, I mean, he's first
And now the Shame Wizard.
He's first and foremost Lupin. Okay, so coming up next week we have Bloodsport with the Stalker. That's a good episode. Good old Kumite. And then we also have
I'm just gonna watch the Bloodsport movie.
Hidden
instead.
Agenda, which is all about Max. Okay,
Oh yeah.
good stuff coming up.
Cool. So I'm gonna watch the Bloodsport movie and then the second episode.
Yes, exactly.
What I really liked about Terry is he was played by Jean-Claude Van Damme in this in this episode, and he punched a guy in the dick. Really creative take on the franchise.
Bruce Wayne, brilliantly played by Ben Gazzara. Yeah,
Really rough training montage too. Like he just beat up
Yeah.
Terry.
And yeah, when Nelson Nash comes up behind him and tells him he's the fuck guys like him in prison. Oh no, now I'm thinking of Roadhouse. God damn
Yeah,
it.
come on.
I've confused my movies.
God, I'm gonna go home and rewatch Bloodsport now.
Of course you are. But yeah, if you want to reach out to us, we are at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and a Gmail.
Yes.
I am at Lordifer on Instagram and Twitter.
If you want to see my art and my attempt at trying to keep up with Inktober, you can find that at Cameron.Dexter. And if you want to see my face and all my Halloween antics, you can find that at CameronDexter_adventures.
Halloween.
Halloween.
Oh, also, I finally got Gay It Forward up on YouTube.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes, I finally got around to doing that.
Nice.
So yeah, if you've been waiting for that to come up, you can go check it out there. It's of course linked in the episode notes. Mm-hmm. But we got a new episode coming out this week too.
Nice.
I know. My other family that I'm always cheating on you with.
That's fine. I've come to accept it.
But you're my first family, Cameron.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Cheating is
I'm
cheating,
far more
Chris.
dedicated to you. Like, Gay It Forward's almost like my mistress podcast. Like, I get to it when I can.
It doesn't help
I'm
sense
always
that
here.
that I'm sharing you.
I'm always here for this podcast without fail. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is a podcast marriage. That's more like a podcast, like, side piece.
Yeah, and you know what doesn't work in marriages? Side pieces, Chris.
Excuse me. I have an open marriage. I have an open podcast marriage.
Are you a Mormon? I never agreed to this.
No, I'm gay. We don't know how to do monogamy.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly. Well, I'm off to go just get attention anywhere I possibly can.
I'm off to get couples counseling.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
Well,
Cameron.
maybe. See you guys next week.
Maybe. Podcast divorce. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.